Cruise news time. Well, we know the story of the fire on the Carnival Freedom, and it's resulting in a couple cruise cancellations. And Royal Caribbean, they had a ship yesterday that had some challenges, shall we say, and we've got another cruise line fully back in service. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. Well, first and foremost, the Carnival Freedom caught fire yesterday. You've probably seen the images of the whale tail, the funnel on the Carnival Freedom ablaze. And we've got some pictures now submitted to us by our friend Jenny Fleming, who is actually on board the Carnival Freedom, of the aftermath. Look, the whole outside of the funnel is gone, burned to its just core structure. Still no explanation where the fire came from, but we do know is that no one was injured yesterday, that safety procedures were followed, and now they're just dealing with what happens next for those passengers that are on the Carnival Freedom. They received a letter in their cabin yesterday saying that, well, their cruise was supposed to end tomorrow on Saturday, but their return to Port Canaveral would be delayed as the Carnival Freedom will not be making the journey back to Port Canaveral. That ship will be going to a shipyard in Grand Bahama for repairs. And so the next Carnival Freedom cruise that was supposed to happen on the 28th tomorrow has been canceled. Were you canceled? And to accommodate the passengers that are on the Carnival Freedom right now that need a ride back to Port Canaveral, the Carnival Conquest, sister ship to the Freedom, has been drafted as the vessel that will come to Grand Turk and pick up those passengers and take them back to Port Canaveral. But what that means is that the cruise that was supposed to happen on the Conquest has been canceled also. Now, the folks that are on the Freedom, for their inconvenience and their extra days on their cruise, they're going to be given a few days of cruising for free. If they have the drink package, that's going to be extended for free. If they have the Wi-Fi, it's not going to cost them anything because they are stuck there in Grand Turk. The Conquest should make Grand Turk tomorrow afternoon, Saturday, 4 o'clock in the evening, I believe is what they were told. And then they have to go through an embarkation process, a disembarkation process from the Freedom, embarkation process onto the Conquest. They're trying to get the rooms lined up right now. A statement from Carnival said they're trying to get the rooms lined up. The luggage will be transferred by Carnival, but wow. So changing ships late in the cruise to get back to Port Canaveral. Folks on the Freedom are supposed to return to Port Canaveral on Monday. That's the goal now. Going to be picked up and then returned on Monday. Cancellation for the Freedom for its next sailing on the 28th. Cancellation for the next sailing on the Conquest. And wow, what a crazy adventure for those cruisers, and certainly fire is not something that you want to see on a cruise ship. A lot of people astutely pointed out in the comments yesterday that, thank goodness, the silver lining of this thing is that fire happened while the ship was docked, while or at least they were close to dock. I still haven't heard all the details when the fire started, but most of it happened while the ship was docked, opposed to being out in the middle of the sea somewhere. So that's wow, that's good news. And Carnival's also giving $100 onboard credit to the people that are on the Freedom, and a 50% future cruise credit if they want to cruise on Carnival again. So it sounds like they're taking care of the people. Jenny Fleming, who's been sending us updates, seems like she's in good spirits and that they're being well taken care of. So Jenny, thank you for all your updates. Shout out to you and Tyler, and thank you for keeping us up to date with what's going on the Carnival Freedom. Now let's quickly do an update on the Carnival Magic. We talked about that yesterday. I told you I read an article where several people had gotten sick from fumes on board. The article that I read made it seem like they may have gotten off that cruise ship early. That was not the case. The Magic ended its sailing on its normally scheduled time. A lot of folks in the comments said, I was on that cruise, I got off without any incident, but apparently where the challenge is they were doing some painting on that cruise ship, and possibly that painting activity created the fumes that got people sick. And so that's still a developing story. What happens to the people that got sick? We haven't heard much more about that. And from what I can tell, the next sailing of the Magic wasn't canceled or anything. I know the Coast Guard had a look into it, and so apparently those things are going forward. It brings up an interesting issue, like, why are there so many maintenance issues? Was the fire caused because of a maintenance issue? We don't know. Why were they painting? Here's what we have to remember. During the shutdown, all of these cruise ships ran at a skeleton skeleton crew. And so I'm assuming that a lot of things that happen on a normal cycle would not have happened during the shutdown, because you need crew members to do that, you need resources to do that, you need money to do that. And during the shutdown, a very uncertain time for the cruise business, constantly borrowing more money just to keep their operation going. And I was trying to think about that. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever lived in times of lean or times without money. You make hard choices, right? Like, if you're a homeowner, but you can barely afford your home because you've lost a job or because you don't have the same income coming in, you might make do if one of your 2 AC units go out, or you might do something crazy if your hot water heater goes out because you don't want to spend the extra money. I remember probably the dumbest thing I ever did because of lack of money. I was super young. I was probably like 18 or 19 years old. I was out on my own, and I had a Datsun vehicle that the alternator went out on. And I don't know anything about cars, so you feel free to make fun of me. At that time, not handy, not mechanical at all. And I knew it was going to cost me more money to get an alternator than I had the money for. But what I did have enough money for was to buy an extra battery and a battery charger. So the alternator charges your battery. And I went through a 2 or 3 month process of every night I would charge up a battery, and then as the battery died on the car because the alternator wasn't charging the battery, I would put a new battery in the car. It's the dumbest thing ever. Like, the stuff that you don't know when you're young, it's ridiculous, right? And so finally, because of losing power on that battery, I ended up in a car accident. And I should have fixed the alternator, but I was in a situation in my life where I could not connect those dots, where I did not have the money to do that. And obviously an organization like a cruise line, they've got it more together than me trying to figure out the alternator in my car. But at the same time, they may not have had the money to do all these things. And so I've noticed that on the cruises since we've returned. A lot of painting, a lot of, taking care of things that would probably be normally taken care of. And I don't know, man. I've been in that situation before, and it does seem like some of these things could be hitting us because of maintenance issues, and, who knows? Who knows what decisions are being made? I just throw it out there. Have you ever been in a place, in a valley of lack, where you're making crazy decisions because you don't have the funds to make a better decision because you're uncertain about the future? No giving anybody a pass here or anything like that. I'm just trying to understand the situation and how we're in some of these situations, and that's the thing that resonates with me. Like, in this time of lack, I could see, not painting until things get going again, while ships are just sitting out in the middle of the ocean, not servicing passengers. So I don't know, but you got to balance that with the trouble that it could be causing. So we'll have to see what resolves from any of these things. Are we going to see more incidents like this, or are things getting better? We'll track it as time goes on. Now, Carnival, they've been in the headlines a lot because they've got a lot going on. Of course, they're one of the largest fleets in the world, the Carnival Cruise Line. But another large fleet, Royal Caribbean, made the news yesterday as the Harmony of the Seas was docking at Falmouth, Jamaica, backing in for a day of fun in Jamaica. And, maybe the backup cam didn't work. Those little arrows misaligned, and they backed right into a concrete piling, part of the dock, really, there at Falmouth, and cosmetic damage to one of the world's largest cruise ships, the Harmony of the Seas. A lot of that stuff hit social media yesterday, like, oh my goodness, we just hit something on the Harmony of the Seas. Royal did put out a statement saying, yeah, we hit something, we backed into something, backed into the concrete piling, and cosmetic damage. It's not affecting the seaworthiness of the Harmony of the Seas, no interruption to the cruise. But yeah, it just goes to show you, a lot of people like to bag on Carnival or whatever, it's Carnival, it's Carnival. Stuff happens everywhere. Everybody needs to just calm down, just lower your nose just a little bit. Just lower your nose just a little bit. And or just be Carnival hater. Everybody, it's always, I will not pontificate here, but, it's a sad situation when the only way that you can make yourself feel better is to hate on something else. It's not good for the soul, in my opinion. But you do you, boo. But yeah, so shout out to people that love Carnival, shout out to people that love Royal, but both of those cruise lines had challenges yesterday. How about that? One more cruise news story to tell you about. Pretty exciting, but first let me quickly invite you to subscribe if you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising. Please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way, work mouth, that way you stay in the cruising know. Do you want to know what's going on in the cruise life? I'll give it to you. Subscribe, notification bell. It doesn't cost anything. Are you part of the notification squad? Hashtag squad leader. All right, one more story. Azamara. It's just another cruise line that's completed their cruise restart. Azamara, who are they a part of? Hold on. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Azamara, part of the Royal Caribbean family of cruise lines, the Royal Caribbean International, Celebrity Cruises, Azamara. They brought their last ship online, so another trumpet of another cruise line getting all of their ships going again. Hopefully they've got staff and the maintenance is going on. These are challenging times, right? I've said it time and time again. If you're cruising right now, you got to pack your patience. If you're not up for crazy stuff happening, don't go cruising right now. It's just that simple. To expect perfection, you know, kind of after the challenges of the pandemic, you need to change your expectation. We all spend our hard-earned money, and we have the choice whether or not to spend it. And if you are looking for perfection in your cruising experience right now, don't put your money there, because you will be disappointed. So either cruise the way it is, or not. I think, you know, I'm not saying don't complain, you know, work through the whole process, guest services, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, don't clutch the pearls when things don't go 100% correctly, because challenging times. How about that? Boom. That's your cruise news. You can leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this and any other thing that's going on. How do you feel about towel animals? Those are despicable. But yeah, leave a comment below. Thanks so much for checking out the show today. You can show your support by hitting the like button. And unfortunately, if you do not hit the like button, well, the next time you go on a cruise, the ship that you're on, well, no fire. That would be way out of line. But bumper cars. The next time you're on a cruise, your cruise ship's going to bump into something that it's not supposed to. And that'll be a great story to tell, but it could be disruptive. You can avoid all that. Save all the cruise ships from bumping into stuff by hitting the like button. Do you like the robin egg blue? I don't know. I prefer black. Yeah. Some people like my t-shirts. That's a story for another day. Weird stuff that people say on cruise ships. Do you know about ridiculous cruise ship passengers? This is a video you should check out next. Tony for Lido, Loca. Till next time. See you on Lido. Bye.